today we are going to look at Pythagorean theorem. Again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and it's used to find missing sides of a right triangle, but we're going to look at word problems today. So here is the first word problem. I have a 50-inch TV. If my TV has a length of 45 inches, what is the width of my TV? I'm hoping you guys remember that in class when we did this back in, November, that when you're talking about measuring a TV, the TV is actually measured by its diagonal. So if I'm telling you I have a 50-inch TV, that means my diagonal is 50 inches. Now, if my TV has a length of 45 inches, what is the width? Well, this means the length here and here. And since it's a rectangle, it doesn't matter which side we use, but since I'm using the diagonal this way, I'm going to take that as my right angle, and I'm going to put 45 inches here. And so what is the width? So I don't know what the width is. So if you look at this, here is your right triangle. Okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. Again, the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We are trying to find A, so we're going to have some subtraction involved. So we have a squared, we don't know what it is, plus 45 squared equals 50 squared. Okay, so we have a squared plus, well, let's see, 45 squared is 2025. And then 50 squared is 2,500. All right, now to get a by itself, I got to subtract the 2025 from each side. And I'm going to end up with a squared equals, so 2,500 minus 2025 is going to be 475. Okay, and then I don't want to know what the square of a is. I want to know what number squared is 475. So to get a, I take the square root of 475. And so let's do this. Second square root of 475. And I get 21.794. So let's say that my width is 21.8 inches. Okay, so that would be the first one. All right, now, what do we do if we have examples of people running? Okay, so it says the two joggers run 8 miles north and then 5 miles west. Remember I talked about this. You guys got to draw pictures. So here we have our runners. I know you always laugh at my pictures. Here are my runners, a little shorts and arms and a hat. This guy's got headphones, whatever. All right, so they run 8 miles north. Well, I'm hoping y'all know your cardinal directions, north, south, east, west. So if they go north, they ran 8 miles. Then they went west 5 miles. So then the question is, what is the shortest distance to the nearest tenth of a mile they must travel to return back to their starting point? So that means I need to go back this way. I don't want to go back the long way. I want to go the shortest distance. So here is my right triangle, and I'm going to end up finding my hypotenuse, which is C. So this is going to be 5 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 25 plus 64 equals C squared. 4 plus 5 is 9. 89 equals C squared. To get the square root of 89, okay, so second square root of 89, and I get, that's not right, square root of 89, sorry, I know you can't see my calculator, 9.43. So 9.43 is equal to C, but I want the nearest tenth, so my answer would be 9.4 miles. Okay, so that's that one. All right, let's look at another one. Let's do another easy one. All right, what if, I'm hoping you can see that, I have to cut out a triangle that has side lengths 20 inches, 12 inches, and 18 inches. Is this going to be a right triangle? Okay, well, I don't know which one's A, B, and C. Do you guys remember how to tell which one's A, B, and C? Good. C is your longest. It's your hypotenuse. So we know that this is C. So does it matter about the A and the B? No. So we'll just say this is A and this is B. So what I want to know is if I have a 20-inch here, let's say 12-inch here, and oops, I drew that wrong. This should have been the hypotenuse. So 20, let's say like this, 20, 12, and 18. All right, what we want to know is this a right triangle? Well, all I got to do is plug this into the Pythagorean theorem. So 12 squared plus b squared, which is 18 squared, equals 20 squared. So let's see what this is. 144 plus 18 squared, I hate this calculator, equals 324. And 20 squared is 400. I can already tell right there that's not going to work. 4 and 4 is 8, 2 and 4 is 6, 3 and 1 is 4. Does 468 equal 400? No, so it is not a right triangle. Okay? All right, here we go. And again, these are just like the 5 problems that you're going to have to do in Verge today. At the beach, there is a square canopy tent. Y'all seen these at the beach, right? Square canopy tent. Okay. It measures 8 feet tall. All right, so I should have done this more three-dimensional. Let's do this. Okay, is that better? All right, so we know that the tent is 8 feet tall. Here's the sand. All right, now we anchor it to the ground with a 15-foot rope. All right, so here's our rope. Anchoring it to ground with a 15-foot rope. So let me put 15 here. Let me put the 8 back over here. Sorry. Put the 8 feet here. Okay. So we have an 8 feet tall tent, 15-foot tall rope, and to make sure the tent doesn't blow away, how far is the rope from the base of the tent? All right, well, here's the base of the tent, and here's the rope. So we want to try to find that. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, so 64 plus B squared equals 225. Okay, let me make sure I messed up. 15 squared, yeah, it is 225. All right, then I'm going to subtract 64 from each side. I'm going to get B squared equals, and then I need to do 224 minus, 225 minus 64, and I get 161. Okay, well, I don't want B squared, I want B, so B is going to be the square root of 161. So if I take the square root of 161, I get 12.68. So let's round this up. Was the 8 tell the 6 to do? Go to a 7, so it's going to be 12.7 feet. That's how far the rope is from the base of the tent. Okay, all right. Last one, and you guys probably remember doing this one. The reason I'm doing this one is because you have a question like this in your Verge assignment that you need to make sure you read the entire question. All right, it says to get from point A to point B, you must avoid walking through a pond. To avoid the pond, you must walk 34 meters south and 41 meters east. Okay, to the nearest meter, how many meters would be saved if it were possible to walk through the pond? All right, the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what that hypotenuse is on the triangle that goes through the pond. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. This is 34, and this is 41. So the first thing, let's try to find C. So we're going to have 34 squared plus 41 squared equals C squared. Okay, and then we have 34 squared is 1156. I need to put my calculator over here. So 41, I keep shaking the screen, plus 1681 equals C squared. 1 and 6 is 7, 8 and 5 is 13, 7 and 1 is 8, 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, so we have 2,837, and then I need to take the square root of that. So the square root of 2,837 is going to be 53.26. So let's make that 53 point, what does the 6 tell this 2 to do? Go up to a 3. So 53.3. So this is 53.3 meters. Okay. All right, now here's the question. How many meters would be saved if it were possible to walk through the pond? All right, so what's happening right here is the only way to get around the park is you have to walk down and around. So we need to figure out the total if we walk down and around. So what am I going to do with 34 and 41? Good, you're going to add them together. So 34 plus 41 is going to be 75. So the long way is 75. But if we could shortcut it through the pond, again, here is the pond. We could short through pond and wants to know how many meters would be saved. Well, if it's 53.3 and it's 75, let's just round that to 53. So let's subtract the 53. So I'm going to have 5 minus 3 is 2, 7 minus 5. So I'm going to save how much meters? 22 meters. Oops, sorry, I didn't show you the screen. 22 meters. So there is a question like that that you're going to have that's going to ask you how much more, how much something is saved. All right, so get to work. You got 5 problems and verbs to do, and I think I'm going to count it as a test grade to help pull your grades up. All right, I'll talk to you all later.